Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about the actual consolidation pattern that Bitcoin found itself in yesterday. As you can see, we have our downtrend drawn like this, and not like this. We'll be getting to why I'm actually an idiot later on in the video, but for right now, I do want to talk about the fact that Bitcoin has properly broken bullish out of this consolidation pattern as of about 5 hours before recording this video, probably about 7 hours before this video actually goes live. And like I said, I am kind of a dummy. I did talk about in yesterday's video this consolidation pattern. Turns out we could actually have redrawn the consolidation pattern like this, and Bitcoin did break bullish. But nevertheless, we're going to be talking about in today's video what happened with this breakout. We're going to be talking about the strength of the bulls and the bears. We're going to be talking about some longer term technical analysis. And of course, last but not least, we're also going to be talking about how absolutely stupid I am for not drawing that consolidation pattern correctly. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy that the most, so I'm going to leave that to the end of the video. But before we get into today's video, guys, I do want to go ahead and ask you to drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy today's video. We do cryptocurrency content every single day here on the Crypto Jeb channel, so if you enjoy the video, definitely consider doing those things. But finally now, without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin, after breaking bullish above this consolidation pattern, is currently trading around $3,708. Bitcoin did run up to around $3,770 earlier on, just a few hours ago, but did manage to actually fall over. This is an important development to keep in mind. Bitcoin did actually have a proper breakout, obviously not the same breakout we were looking at in yesterday's video, but we did see a proper breakout, and we did see a proper volume candlestick come up, as you can see right here. We didn't really see one back over here. We saw volume increase, but not enough for it to really be considered a breakout. Right over here, we did in fact see that. One thing that I am concerned about here, though, is the fact that Bitcoin did break bullish. Of course, it did break bullish. We were trending up here and then broke the resistance and went to the metaphorical moon. And Bitcoin now, which is somewhat concerning, is actually trending downward here. As you can see, Bitcoin broke bullish and is now trending downward. And we've seen that kind of thing happen recently, where Bitcoin was breaking bearish, as you can see right here, and then it started trending downward, and that kind of foreshadowed more bearish price action to come. And kind of the opposite thing happened over here. Bitcoin broke bearish and started trending upwards, and that kind of indicated that we were seeing some more bullish price action to come. So we may in fact see a little bit of bearish price action come over the next couple of days. If Bitcoin does continue to trend downward like this after this breakout, that would signify strength for the bears, weakness for the bulls, and potential future losses incoming. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye on this kind of trend. Watch where Bitcoin is moving here after it breaks out, and always watch what Bitcoin does immediately after it has a breakout. Bitcoin's just obviously had a very important breakout, a nice little big green candlestick. A nice little big green candlestick. I think I'll pick one of those words. Nice big green candlestick formed, and Bitcoin is now moving to the downside, so watch out for that as a signal. Anyway, we are going to be getting back into the TA, but I do want to jump over to CoinMarketCap real quick and do a little bit of the crypto market recap. Bitcoin is currently trading across all exchanges, 3/4 of a way to $4,000. $37.50, up around 2.5% over the last 24 hours with $5.5 billion of daily volume. And of course, a lot of that volume is going to be buy side, coming from this hour right over here around 5 o'clock this morning Eastern Standard Time, when Bitcoin did go ahead and finally break bullish. Most of the cryptocurrency market is likewise green. If we sort by change over the last 24 hours, we're going to see Apollo currency is going to the moon, pun very much intended. It's up 35% over the last 24 hours, and we see 6 double-digit gainers in 10x Power Ledger, Electroneum, Loopring, Augur, and Apollo currency. We have 2 of the competitors here for the electricity cryptocurrency market, up over 10% here in today's video. But if we scroll down, we're going to see that the vast majority of the cryptocurrency market is in the green. Repo is getting repoed, and it's down 60% right now. Excuse me, 20% right now. When I talk at 700 words a minute, sometimes I do make a mistake. Anyway, now let's go ahead and get back on into the technical analysis. I'm going to go ahead and reload that site. I'm not sure why it was giving me that pop-up. Anyway, like I said, we're going to be talking about the strength of the bulls and the bears in today's video, and we're also going to be talking about a couple of longer-term chart formations before getting into why I am an absolute moron. But like I said, we'll talk about that later on at the end of the video. Bitcoin, like I said, did break bullish out of this, and one thing that I like to see is that Bitcoin broke bullish out of this consolidation pattern and is actually setting this kind of northwards, upwards trending channel in motion. If we were to trading channel in motion, if we were to get rid of this downtrend, we would see that Bitcoin has been consecutively making higher highs and higher lows. We see a higher high and a higher low. That's a very important thing to see. We want to see that continue. One thing that does concern me is that even though on the short term we're seeing higher highs and higher lows, on the longer term time scales we're seeing lower highs and lower lows. As you can see, these 2 lines, this one right here and this trend line right there as well, also define how Bitcoin is seeing a lower high. We saw a high right there around $4,200, and then a lower high over here around $4,000, then a low, then a lower low. That's a concerning trend, because what it looks like is that the longer term for Bitcoin is bearish and the shorter term for Bitcoin is bullish, and then the really short term is bearish for Bitcoin. Now, this little piece of price action that we're looking at here over the last 5 hours is not very well developed. I'm not going to make very many predictions or calls or anything based off of what's gone on here, because I want to give Bitcoin another 12 hours or so to define this bull flag that is trying to form right now and see which direction is generally trending. So I wouldn't put a ton of power on that, but I would put a lot of power on the fact that Bitcoin did come down here, set this bottom in motion, and is now on the shorter term time frames, and by the shorter term time frame I mean the last week, looking somewhat bullish. Now, in yesterday's video, I did talk about how it looked like Bitcoin may break bearish because we broke above that consolidation pattern that I had drawn there. Right there, we saw that Bitcoin broke bullish, and then it turns out it just redefined the consolidation pattern rather than that being the proper breakout, and then we went ahead and had the actual bullish breakout. I was concerned in that video because this bullish breakout didn't really seem like it was strong enough, but now that we have seen a proper bullish breakout, that does move the power back from the hands of the bears that I was talking about in yesterday's video back into the hands of the bulls. And the bulls, based on the price action that has happened in the last 12 hours, seem to be more powerful in the short term right now. Now, like I said, this kind of thing can change a lot because we're talking about intraday trading. We're talking about the power of the bulls and the bears over the course of hours, not days or weeks. So understand that it can change from day to day. So just because my opinion changes doesn't mean that I've completely thrown out my principles or anything. It just means that sometimes the market does move quickly. And that's what we've seen happen here. It looked like it was a little bit more bearish yesterday. Now we're looking a little bit more bullish. And if we look at the longer term time scales, because we've set a higher high right here, that is rather bullish for Bitcoin. Now, there is one more thing that I want to talk about here on the longer-term timescales for Bitcoin. We're going to come out to the 4-hourly chart and get a little bit of a better picture of this. And to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of these trend lines, so bear with me here. I do want to talk about something that we've mentioned before on the Crypto Jeb channel that we've talked about quite a lot and that we've seen form in a very important way before on the Bitcoin chart, and that would actually be a descending triangle pattern. And what we're seeing right now is Bitcoin is sitting below a descending triangle pattern, a descending trend line, of resistance right there. This is a very bearish thing. We want to see Bitcoin break this, and we're also seeing Bitcoin hold support above an important level of support of around $3,574. Now, that's an important level of support, and I would say that it's rather analogous, in fact, to $6,000. Now, I would actually say that $3,000 is more analogous to $6,000 on the long term, but for the last couple of months, I'd say that around $3,575 is starting to look rather analogous to $6,000, because what we saw over here was Bitcoin was in the midst of a descending triangle pattern, something like that. We saw that Bitcoin was in a descending triangle pattern, and unfortunately, because we're in a bear market, we did break bearish out of it. But I think we can start drawing parallels between that market then and this market now. One obvious exception to that is the fact that Bitcoin did eventually break this, but after getting back up above 35.75, Bitcoin has held it as a level of support, only temporarily breaking it ever since. So what does all that mean? Well, I want to draw your attention to this because we're obviously going to see a cross here in eventuality. Sometime in late February, we're going to see this downtrend of resistance crossing this level of support, and either Bitcoin is going to break the uptrend of support, the downtrend of resistance, or it's going to break its horizontal level of support. And which one happens depends very strongly on the strength of the bulls and the bears and the strength of support and resistance, which is why I talk about that in the course, which is why I talk about that a lot here on the channel, and why that is such an important concept to understand. It's important to understand how strong the bulls are versus how strong the bears are, so that you can understand whether or not they're going to break levels of support and resistance, also based on how strong those levels of support and resistance are. And that's why I've been talking so much lately about the strength of the bulls and the bears, and why I'm so interested in which faction is more powerful. Because this kind of long-term descending triangle pattern, while it may not have the same far-reaching implications as the descending triangle pattern back in 2018, it is definitely an important pattern to look at, because if we break bearish from here, Bitcoin's probably going to go down and start testing $3,000, and if you test a level, of course, there's a chance that you can break it, and we don't want to break $3,000. And if we break this downtrend of resistance, then that's actually a very bullish thing, because if we break that downtrend of resistance, not only are we going to be proving that the bulls are somewhat strong anyway, because they've managed to break a level of resistance, we're also going to be above many important moving averages. For example, as you can see, we would be above the 20 exponential moving average, and you guys know that's one of the moving averages that I use to define whether Bitcoin is in a rally or a downtrend. So this is an important longer term consolidation pattern and a descending triangle pattern, one that I would like to keep an eye on, and one that I will be talking about more in future videos. I'm going to kind of leave it there because I do want to talk about it more in future videos. I do want to go in more depth on it, but I do also just kind of want to introduce this topic into the channel so that we can start talking about it, and so that you guys can realize its importance and start going and doing your own technical analysis on it on your own time and on your own charts. Guys, I always recommend that after you watch my videos, before you watch my videos, on the same day you watch my videos, anytime that you want, always go and read charts, always go and learn more about charting. It's always a good idea to go and do your own technical analysis. I always say, never trade based off of what one YouTuber says. It doesn't matter if it's me, it doesn't matter if it's any other YouTuber, I'm not going to name drop, but it doesn't matter who it is. Don't place a trade off of something I or one of my contemporaries say. Just take what we say and then use it in your own analysis and try and get a good feel of where the market is going, because at the end of the day, it's important that you make money in the cryptocurrency markets, but it's also important that you're able to sleep at night. And if you guys are able to make trades based off of your own intuition, based off of your own knowledge, not only are you going to feel a lot better about yourself, you're going to be a much stronger trader. You're going to be able to foresee problems come before they show up. And overall, you're going to be a lot happier. So definitely go out there and make trades based off of your own technical analysis, and not just based off of a technical analysis from me or any other YouTuber or technical analyst. With that said, let me give you a good example of why you might not want to do that, because one thing that people often forget about me and many of my friends here on YouTube, I do know a lot of the YouTubers in the cryptocurrency space, and they're mostly good people. A lot of them are very good people. One thing that you guys seem to forget, not all of you, I'm not gonna, some of you I should say, some of you guys seem to forget, is that we are human and we do make mistakes. And one mistake that I made yesterday, and this has been a principle of mine ever since I started the channel, it's been a principle of mine ever since I was old enough to have principles, is that if you make a mistake, you own up to it, you say what you did wrong, and you say what you're gonna do to fix it. And here's what I'm gonna do. Yesterday, I made a consolidation pattern. I showed you guys a consolidation pattern. I showed you that consolidation pattern right there. And I talked about how it looked like Bitcoin had broken out of it. We'd broken bullish out of it, and then we were seeing kind of a bearish flag form, and that was indicating that we may come down here and break 35.75. Well, obviously I was wrong in that, because what I should have done was redefine this downtrend, and the reason that I should have done that is because we didn't have a lot of volume on the breakout, which is why I always tell you guys, and I've told you guys this many times on the channel, this is not news to me, it's just an oversight that I happen to have made. You always want to make sure you're looking for large amounts of volume on a breakout to confirm whether or not a breakout has happened. This was not a breakout, this was a redefinition of the downtrend on the consolidation pattern, and that's what seems to have happened. Because Bitcoin redefined that downtrend, continued this uptrend, and restarted the consolidation pattern and changed what it looks like. So use my screw up here as a lesson for you guys. Whenever Bitcoin is in a consolidation pattern, basically whenever any chart is in a consolidation pattern, wait for this volume candlestick. And for whatever reason, my head was in the clouds yesterday, I guess. I wasn't paying attention to volume like I always do. I do technical analysis on these videos before I record them so that I know what I'm talking about, of course. And for whatever reason, I forgot this on my checklist. No excuses, just a mistake. And we do see that Bitcoin didn't really have a lot of volume there, so we didn't have a proper breakout. Always look for this volume candlestick when you're looking for a breakout. And as you can see, it is obviously missing over here. This was not a breakout. That was a redefinition of the downtrend of resistance. So there you go, guys. Like I said, I'm only human after all. Great song. And kind of the point of what I'm trying to make here. If you guys have never made a mistake before in your entire life, feel free to tell me in the comment section down below and criticize me. Otherwise, guys, I apologize. That's all I can say. And I will do my very best to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about today's technical analysis. Do you think that this short-term change in the direction of Bitcoin, this upward trending channel, this ascending trending channel, is looking bullish for Bitcoin? Do you think that the longer-term descending trading channel right here is looking bearish for Bitcoin? And which direction do you think Bitcoin is going to break out of this long-term descending triangle pattern? Do you think it's going to break bullish, or do you think it's going to break bearish? I do read every single one of your comments, guys, and I love reading your comments. I love conversing with you guys, so definitely tell me down in the comment section down below what you think. But anyway, guys, that's basically going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.